Oh, you just made my day. No, Gerald opened his fan and Ready? Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Wednesday, October 15th, 2025 Commission meeting, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Marquardt?
Here.
Commissioner Matherly?
Here.
Commissioner Barella?
Here.
And Commissioner Burrell is going to lead us in the invocation.
Heavenly Father, we lift our leaders to you today. Grant them wisdom, discernment, and the courage to lead with integrity and justice. Protect them from harm and temptation, and fill their hearts with a genuine desire to serve the common good. May they be united in their purpose and work together for a more just and peaceful society. Guide their decisions and actions to align with your will for the benefit of all people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. And you don't have to do that when you do the state thing. You can do this. I looked it up. I don't know where that crap ever started. It looks too much like a handout to me. I don't do that. That's right. Okay. So now I need to get a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we'll start with our sheriff's office report. And I can't believe you're here this morning with the night you had last night.
257 on the paper service.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioner. Stephen
morning.
Mack, Otero County Sheriff. That was a good night. We had a great event at the fairgrounds.
We did. It was
This
amazing.
good. Let me change the number here right quick. Okay, for the Sheriff's Office for September, responded to 1,921 calls for service. We generated 288 investigative reports. We had 61 traffic crash investigations. We had 84 arrests. We issued 162 traffic citations. Community services officers served 257 subpoenas for the courts. Calls responded to in Tularosa for the month was 61. Calls responded to in Cloudcroft was 74. Calls responded in the city of Alamo, 311. And I wanted to kind of throw this in there. I wanted to start kind of showing what's going on in Chaparral. We had 606 calls for service in Chaparral. Generated 70 reports, and we had 20 arrests in our Chaparral district. In narcotics, we had 11 search warrants, we had 21 arrests, 1 agency assist, 45 case reports were generated. We had 5 vehicles seized, 1 firearm seized. We had 8 jail possession cases, and I think it's a continuation of what's been going on, the Suboxone being sent in, through the legal mail and stuff like that. So, but they're catching them. So, we had 26.8 grams of meth that was seized, 5.9 grams of heroin, the 54 of the Suboxone strips, 45.3 grams of cocaine, 3.7 grams of fentanyl powder, and 31 fentanyl pills were seized. Total of about a little over $11,000 worth of narcotics seized. In our special events, on September 6th, we had a community connection day at Holloman Air Force Base. September 11th, we attended a 911 memorial here in Alamogordo, and we also attended one at the Chaparral Elementary School. And then the 18th through the 20th, we provided coverage and attended the Otero County Fair. In our training, again, most kind of getting to the end of that two-year training cycle, so everybody's kind of working on the mandated training on local GovU. They're getting pretty close to being done with all that. We have to be completed by December 31st, and I'm hoping to have it done by the end of November because I don't like training in December. I like for these guys to prepare for Christmas and family time and stuff like that. So hopefully by the end of November, we'll have that done. In our Manning, recently attended a halfway point for the 4 cadets that are at the Academy in Hobbs. They are doing very well, both academically and with the physical fitness standards. They will graduate in December, and we look forward to getting them started in their FTO program as soon as they get back. I think last month I told you I did have a community services officer resign. His replacement started on Monday. Jalen Griffin is his name, and he's doing really well. I did receive one application for that temporary IT position, Matthew Lundquist. Actually, he'll start with us today. And I do have Nicholas Santiago. He's starting with us on the 26th. He's an uncertified deputy. So as it stands right now, I have 1 position open, and I've got 3 lateral candidates that are being considered for this position. I think during the budget session, I asked for 3 additional positions. It was my understanding that would be talked about if we received that 25-26 COPS grant. On the 10th, we got notification that we did receive that grant. We're working on it's $570,000. We can fund 3 deputies for 3 years before we would have to start putting them in, absorbing them in our payroll. And what was nice about this, we asked for a waiver on matching funds, and they gave it to us. So we don't have any matching funds on it.
That's great.
We'll have that on the next agenda for discussion and approval. And I wanted just to throw this out, with this grant, we get this, we would have received a total of $16.5 million in grants in the past 7 years.
That's amazing.
$16.5 million.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, so that's helped a bunch. On our vehicles, we got 5 new Tahoes. They're currently being striped, and they're waiting for the emergency equipment to arrive for installation, and hopefully we'll get them out pretty soon. And if I could make one request on the consent agenda, number 15, if we could pull that from the consent agenda. We got some numbers on there that are not correct, and I would want to make sure you understand exactly what's going on before that's approved. So. And with that, I'll stand for questions.
David, I'm kind of curious, that sounded like on the numbers on Chaparral increase. Did I understand that correctly?
You know, I haven't pulled numbers just for Chaparral before. We were talking about it the other day, and I wanted to kind of see what we had Flats versus Chaparral. I was kind of looking at, our Manning issues and stuff as far as, how many do I need down there? Do I need to just move people around or something like that? So that was the first time I'd had that. Next month, give you some more numbers, do a comparison on what. But I tell you, they're pretty darn busy down there.
Okay.
And you have 16?
There are 16 down there right now.
And Donna Hannah has 4? 2.
2.
And so we answer a lot of their calls.
We go
Correct?
to a lot of their calls, and basically we don't have any, we can't take any enforcement action. So basically what we do is secure the scene and wait for somebody to show up.
Let me see if I can work through the other commissioner on trying to get that changed. You might put that on your list if we ever get to have a meeting with their county manager, because that's not right. That's why, if you can kind of tell me what the numbers compared to the rest of the county or whatever, if they're drug related or whatever they are, so I can kind of have a leg to stand on to go argue with them on that.
Okay?
So I'd
I
appreciate
think
it.
we can, well, John's back here, so we can get him in his spare time. We'll get him to kind of do some comparable numbers and stuff like that, so
Okay, cool.
we can do that.
Well, I just wanted to thank you and Under Sheriff Robles and everybody that helped with the night out last night. I know Pamela and Sylvia were there, and Matt and Tom. I mean, we had a really good, John Barney was a huge part of that, and, had our emergency command center out there, and the helicopter was there. I mean, it was a really neat night.
Yeah, it
And the
was-
National Guard guys told us that's the best one they've ever been to, that they
Right.
thoroughly enjoyed it, so
Yeah.
it was pretty cool,
It was-
yeah.
It was a good deal.
And the
Really good
lemonade
deal.
people ran out of lemonade before I could get a refill, and they had 500 set up, and they sold all of them,
Wow, that's
500. Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, we kind of did a poll of the food trucks
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and, they sold out. The other one said it was pretty average for them, but Fatwood, they were like
oh, they were
exceptional
crazy
night,
busy,
so
yeah,
Good.
They did really, really well, so.
yeah.
It was just nice to get all the county entities and, state police, border patrol, I mean, everybody in the county, we all came together in one area and, we had a good
Yeah.
night. Everybody got to kind of, people that came got to talk with whoever they wanted to, what the entities and stuff, so, yeah, it was a good deal. Really,
And the
really
band
good
was
deal.
amazing.
They
They were so good.
Yep.
Preston always put on a good show.
And
And
I think
Janie
when-
Rabin and,
When we started that, I think Brian Marsh reached out to us and said he wanted to play it for free, just to be a part of the event and stuff, so.
it was
but,
very nice.
It was
very
really cool.
It
It was a good deal.
Very good.
And I have
Good
to
job, everybody.
Thank John Barney, because he
He
put lots and lots of hours in there on that.
He put a lot of traffic on his feet last night.
Yes, he did.
got his county steps in.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Good morning, Commissioner.
morning.
John Barney, 911 Director.
Good morning.
So for last month, total call volume was 10,216 calls into the 911 center, 2,492 911s, 4,756 administrative lines, 43 alarm lines, 301 fire lines, 834 law lines, and our reroutes of our abandoned 911s, 32 came back into the 911 center with our auto abandoned system. And then outbound was 2,216. Our abandon rate this last month, we had a total of 311 abandoned 911s with a 3.68% of our calls. What shocked me was our busy times. The month before in July, it was all in the early morning hours. It was like 11, 10, and 9. But last month, we saw 11 a.m., 7 p.m., and 1 p.m. was our busy time. So very interesting to see that jump from our busy times for the month. Currently, we have 4 positions open with 2 more in background. We just hired 4 more, and they all started the last 2 weeks. So they're all assigned to their CTOs and starting the training process ready. We did hire a new deputy director out of Texas, the Fort Worth area. He will be starting on the 27th with us. For our events, we attended Battle of the Food Trucks. We were at the Apple Festival. Thank you, Nichols Ranch. We had a better spot this time, and we had a lot of foot traffic, so that was awesome. We were at the county fair, great spot this year. For the county fair, we were right at the main entrance, so that really got us a lot of foot traffic, helped with emergency services and us to really share who we are. We were up at Cloudcroft Fire Prevention Day, and then our biggest event was National Night Out last night. And for people who didn't know, we actually held 2 National Nights Outs in our county, and one of them was in the Sackweed area, and I spoke to the fire chief who ran that last night, and they estimated about 50 people that showed up. No helicopter for them due to cloud coverage, but they said they had about 30 kids in total, probably 50 people in total, and they had a wonderful night too. So I'm
Good.
trying to gain
That's
some
great.
pictures for that too, so we can share it across the county. So other than that, I stand for questions.
Tell us about the award that we could possibly get with all the awesome pictures we took last
Yeah,
night.
so National Night Out has a program where they do award winners for each county. This is our first one this year, so I entered us into the first attendee for National Night Out, and then after that, based off of population. So I'll be working this afternoon and tomorrow to build this huge presentation that I'll ship off to National Night Out for them to review, and hopefully we receive the award for first attendees. They do issue a bunch of them out to them. If you go to their website, they show who they or give them to. So it was like 10 last year for the beginner one. So hopefully we can be a part of that based off of what we've done. I think for our first one, it was phenomenal, and I don't think that was what was expected for a national night out. I think we were all worried of advertisement. But our country radio station here in town, we got on that, we advertised that, they helped us out a lot. Road Shop lent us their message board signs to get out there at the fairgrounds, so a couple last minute things, but I think we pulled it off and it was great work. Helicopter, phenomenal things from what they said about the thing, and I completely forgot about the ribbon cutting, but we had a ribbon cutting for a new helicopter too, so I think we had a bunch of activities that really helped us out last night, so we'll meet down with the committee and we'll start building for next year, so that's part of the National Night Out plan. They wanna see our 365-day plan for next year's event, so we kinda have to kind of discuss that and put something together, so.
It was great.
It was great.
Absolutely great. And I'll send you the picture of my grandbaby,
Absolutely.
because that'll be the wedding picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will send that out. So I think from when I talked to all the vendors, El Paso 911 was very happy to be up here. You spoke to National Guard. I know both animal controls or animal services, the shelters, I think had a great turnout for them. So I think it was very successful.
We appreciate all the hard work for everybody from the county.
absolutely.
But you really put in a lot of hours, so
Yep.
thank you for
It was
that.
great.
No
Good
problem.
job.
We'll make it
Thank
even
you.
bigger next year.
Yes.
See
Thanks,
if we can
John.
get Cody Johnson in here next year.
I'll try.
Commissioners, just to commend Director Barney and his staff and the OES staff that are supporting all these community events. Not only are they doing that and doing a good job reaching out and recruiting, something I thought they're doing that's really awesome is they have a machine that is allowing them to make IDs for children. And gets their fingerprints and puts it in a system and has all their information, and I think that's a really awesome service that they're providing to the community, and I
That is
want to
awesome.
recognize that.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Matt Clark, Emergency Services. For the month of September, our volunteers responded to 113 medical calls and 5 fire calls, down significantly, which I thoroughly enjoy, for a total of 132 calls. Code enforcement responded to 16 solid waste, 10 illegal dumpings, 1 unsecured load. We did a fire inspection at the High Rolls School and La Luz School to keep them in compliance. Did 2 inspections on commercial structures. We have 6 cases in court, waiting to see how those go. Opened up a total of 27 cases, followed up with 12, closed 6 of them, did 1 fire investigation. Number 5, Angie Court, a warrant has been issued, 4409 North Florida. A warrant has been issued, 320 Jungsun, warrant has been issued, 1029 Mike Court still has a warrant. Tractor Road is still sending us weekly updates through his receipts. It's the only way we can show progress on that property, because the amount of trash that's there.
I can't believe that guy's paying $400 a week.
Yeah, it's about $400 a week for his
Dumpster,
tipping
yeah.
fees. And, you
He
know.
could pay somebody to pick it up in 1 month, and, I mean,
And a year ago, we did an event out there and barely made a dent in it in a day. So,
I mean, if you paid $4,000 somebody, it'd be done. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
53 Otero. Like no contest. Sentencing hearing will be October 27th.
So what does that mean?
He's going to appear before the judge to be sentenced on the violations that we submitted.
So that means he'll get a fine and then keep his dirty property?
Hopefully the judge says he's got to clean it up.
Okay.
One step closer.
Did you notify the neighbors?
I think he has, but I don't want to say for sure.
Morning, Commissioners, Cody Welchel, Supervisor. Since he pled no contest, there's no witnesses that have to appear, so that won't be an issue this time. So he'll go in front of the judge will tell him what he has to do, and then issue a fine if he issues a fine.
We should probably let them know that this court date's coming up. That way, if they want to be there, you know, they can be there to help kind of enforce that,
And it's through Google Meets
of course.
meeting.
Yeah, yeah, maybe send them the link, yeah. That's unfortunate, but at least we're making progress. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So the one on North Florida, I thought the city, that's the one with the tree to the house and right there before Knights of Columbus Road?
Yes.
I thought the city took that one over, which hadn't done anything.
The city took that one over, they put a lien on it, and someone came in and paid the taxes on the lien and removed it. So now it's back in our hands.
Okay. That is an eyesore there.
It
Is
is.
anybody living there now?
I think a lady was living there. I don't know if she's still living in that camper or in the trailer house.
Well, the little camp trailer looked like nobody's there because all the junk's kind of thrown up against the door and stuff, but
Yeah, there's the Class C RV, then there's a trailer house, and then the house. I think
Yeah.
she was living in the trailer house, but I'm not aware if she's still living there or not.
well, let's make sure we have our wording right on that one.
15 First Street, we amended the criminal complaint and put it back into court. There's been some improvement on Poplar. Not a whole lot. He built a fence to hide everything. So if we can still see it, we'll continue to work on having them clean it up.
Is that, haven't been up that direction or at least haven't paid attention, is the fence gonna be on the corner of that intersection?
No, it's in the middle of the block. The
Oh,
house on the corner has been cleaned up. All
okay,
that trash that was around the front porch, that's all cleaned up, so that property's cleaned up.
okay,
Now we're looking at the one that's in the middle of the block.
okay, because I was worried about, you can't already not see around that corner. You know,
Yeah,
if
and
they
it's,
put a
it's
fence.
just around his stuff, so there's a good 20 feet off of the road, so there's
Okay.
no visibility issues
Okay.
at all, even for them coming out.
Okay.
We still don't have an update on 23 Desert Star from the EPA. And code enforcement has been busy with pump testing throughout the county for the fire departments so that they can stay in compliance for grant opportunities for them.
I've went out by the Desert Star several times, and I'm not sure anybody's living there anymore. I haven't seen any kind of, there's weeds kind of growed up in front of the walkways, so I don't know if that guy's still living there or not, but.
Yeah, I believe he's not.
We're still gonna keep an eye on it and still work with the EPA to get out there and do what they're supposed to do. Slash pit, we had 106 loads come in. We're getting ready to close down at the end of this month for the year, get everything prepped up to get rid of everyone's slash. Our office attended the Holloman Community Event in September, the 9/11, along with the volunteers. The fair, we went up to Cloudcroft. We added about 6 new people to the rosters throughout various departments. We're just getting out there, like John said, and RB, we're getting out there, doing everything we can, pushing our message. Yesterday at the National Night Out, our partners up at Santa Fe, out of Department of Homeland Security, came down and they were pushing out information about not only our alerting system, but for people that didn't know how to turn on their alerts on their cell phones to make sure that they could get them. They were really excited about everything and are already planning to come down again next year, so.
Good.
And then we've been busy working on all the flood stuff to submit to FEMA for our projects.
How many new volunteers do we have?
About 6.
Good, good.
That's
A
good.
maintainable number.
That's good.
A couple of them really, right after the fair, showed up, and they're continuing to show up. And that's what I like to see, is the continuation, because a lot of them will sign up, show up to a meeting, and then that's the last that we see of them.
Yep.
So,
Good.
Good, must be doing something right. So good. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank
And-
you.
And thank
Thank
you
you.
guys for being out there last night.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Porter, Otero County Road Department.
Good morning.
So for the month of September, we were a little busy. We finished up the co-op section of our chip seal down in Chaparral. We've got it turned in to receive funds for that from the state. Cleaned and checked cattle guards and culverts all over the mesa. Also replaced one over on Poindexter, Mau Mau, River Road, and clean glow water crossings, 3 rivers and throughout the entire mesa. Hauled massive amounts of pit run out through Mitchell Tank and Cornucopia Canyon and Jernigan Draw. The new crew down in Chaparral has been really busy. The 3 of them are doing an amazing job.
Good.
I got a call from Bobby, John Colquitt's right-hand person down there, and she says she can't keep tabs on them. They're moving so quick on some of this stuff. They're patching everywhere down there and loading up sand dunes just as fast as they can. Brush and trimming, we're finally got enough people that we can get that going, and we've got plenty of moisture, so we don't have to worry about setting any fires. We're fixing to be into rue spraying season here in about 2 more weeks. Let's see, as far as the flooding goes, met with emergency services and FEMA and Homeland Security a bunch the last 2 months. I've put over, Pamela and I went out a couple of weeks ago when I've put over 9,000 miles on that pickup in the last 2 months on that mesa.
They'll be wearing out our trucks.
And it's worn out. And the new heavy haul that I asked for last month came in 2 weeks ago, so.
It was pretty. Did you see it last
Nice.
night?
Oh, yeah.
I like big trucks.
Yeah.
So of course I went and looked at it.
How are things looking out on the mesa?
We had almost everything other than South Ranch opened up to at least 1 lane as of last week. That storm we had Sunday night, we lost about 25 miles on the Cornucopia. Lonnie got it open to 1 lane again yesterday. They're hoping to get down there, and I know this is Greek to a lot of people down by Jernigan Draw, open back up again today. That was one of the bigger places that ran that night.
Are most all those roads that are opened up to big trucks like
Yeah,
pots and stuff
yeah,
they can get through?
that's- Yeah, we're making sure that, because they're all in cattle now,
Yeah.
we're making sure the cattle pots can get through.
I wanted to ask you, when you said we're getting ready to start spraying for that roof, do we have really good protective gear for whoever does that?
Yep.
Because I've got
And
it.
they're all state certified to
Okay.
do this, and we're not holding back on anything.
Okay, okay, because I know a guy that's really, really sick because of, he didn't work for us, but I mean, because he didn't wear the right gear, so he's very ill right now.
All right, that's it.
I have one.
Oh,
10 Bassett, I know,
Okay,
I am told that the property across the street is county property, and there used to be a ditch across the road.
okay. No, ma'am, there was never a ditch there. And actually, I think Matt and I both looked at that one, the one over in Dunnigan.
It's been a month or two.
Yeah, there had never been a ditch there. The problem, again, we go back to all the flooding that's coming off that bypass. It's aimed right at that. And Matt and I both went out and looked. If there was a ditch there, it was way before any of that subdivision or that fire department went in, because there's no place to run that water to on a ditch.
Can we put one just across the road?
I do that, we're gonna flood out a fire department and the neighbors down the street.
Okay, and then the Sierra, the one where we went and fixed the potholes, and they say there's still potholes? Is it Sierra?
You're talking about High Sierra, out on North Florida?
In Dunnigan.
Oh,
Chris went and fixed the potholes, and then they emailed back and said that he missed some.
I went out and drove that with Chris, and we never found anything.
I can't find them too, but I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that I was
Yep, nope.
in the right spot.
No, I actually went out with Chris to make sure, because you emailed me on that back, and it's like, no, we couldn't find anything, and I mean, we drove it at about 5 miles an hour looking,
Okay,
so.
okay. And then, I didn't write down my roads. Last year, we fixed off of Bookout, that, where the mail pulls over, where it's all rutted out with mud, and then down that road that, another sheriff lived down,
I'm not sure.
Benny House's road, what's the name of that road?
Jim Day
Jim Day Lane, they said those potholes are back too.
Okay,
Okay, and I meant to email you on that yesterday and I forgot.
yeah, okay, yeah, if you would shoot me an email on that,
Okay.
yeah, because with all this moisture, these roads are falling apart faster
Yeah.
than we can fix them. You know, and that's one of the things that's keeping Chaparral busy, they've been getting at least one good rain a week down there. And if nothing else, it's making potholes grow.
weeds and potholes.
Yep. Thank you for being out there last night.
Yeah, that was pretty
We-
cool.
My crew had a blast.
Good.
They really did, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah,
Good.
be bigger and better.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Tom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Trent Parker, Project Manager.
Good morning, nice hat.
Thank you. This month, we're still waiting on the Chins and Chaparral Law Enforcement Facility agreements to come in, so we're wanting to get those started, but gotta wait.
So
Blickender Center,
does that include the roof at Chin's?
Mhm.
Okay, because Nancy, I saw her the other day and she was asking me about it.
that was the reauthorization. We had to amend the law language because it didn't include the wall ephes, which is required on a multi-level roof. And so we had to, they told us we could not include that in there, but it was a necessity. So we didn't really want to reauthorize it, but really didn't have any choice. The Flickinger Center brick veneer, we've kind of put that project along with a couple others on hold while this on-call construction services contract is out for RFP. Because if we was to go out for bid for either of those projects, we would be getting it approved on the November commission agenda anyways, and the on-call is going to be on for approval in November. So we're kind of hitting the same timeline, but we can simplify it and possibly even get it cheaper by going through our on-call services. So we kind of put those on hold for the time being. We thought that was probably the best decision for that, and so that'd be the Flickinger Center and the shooting range improvements. Alamo S Fire and Rescue this month, we got both concrete water storage tank foundations completed, and the tanks are scheduled to be delivered next week. I'm working with emergency services to get forklifts available to offload those materials. After that, it's all scheduling the manufacturer's installation crew to come in to get those water tanks completed. That goes with Bowles Acres as well. The foundation's complete. We're just waiting on the tank deliveries next week. The Otero County District Courthouse. This month, we had a couple budget meetings. The last one was an in-person meeting with the goal of getting the project into budget, because we were currently still over budget. Throughout the meeting, we worked with the court to reduce square footage throughout all 3 floors of various areas. Our target was to reduce by 4.5 million out of the project. By the end of the meeting, we were able to drop the estimated cost by 4.8 million. So
Good job.
we should be in budget now. This kind of triggers the architect to go back and do some reconfiguration and kind of massage the design to accommodate these reductions. And once that's complete, he said it'd be about a 30-day process. Once he's complete, then it goes back to the contractor just to verify that our anticipated cost reductions are accurate, and then we'll be ready to go to work. And in fact, the contractor requested in that meeting that here soon they would like to start some of the civil work, which to me that makes me want to start planning and trying to put together a good groundbreaking ceremony for that project.
So with that coming back in line, then are we gonna have to put that, change the ICI?
I will address that when we get to that item, but yes, we still need to have it because the project's not complete on the ICIP, because remember, the ICIP is not a request for funding, it's a plan. And if we have to request any further funding for any reason, if capital outlay, it's required to be on our ICIP. So I would prefer to just put it back on there and leave it on there until the project is done. You can put it at the bottom of your priority list, but let's get it on there.
Yeah, well, this project, the way it's set up, there shouldn't be any additional charges once everybody's agreed to it, because it's a
Correct.
no change order.
Right, and there's
Unless we add
contingency in
something.
there. If there's any bust on the plans, we're covered with the contingency within there. But there's, with this way this contract's designed, there's not any change orders. That's why the contractor has been pretty stern on their cost estimates, and they don't want to be underestimating something and be caught with the cost. So it's understandable, but we've done a lot of negotiating, and we were just left with, we had value engineered it all the way down that we could without devaluing the building or making it a non-usable building. So that's why we ended up having to reduce the square footage. But it went well. So.
Good.
All right, then the Twin Forks and Bent flood improvements, the planning and studies are complete, and they're now currently working on the designs for both of those projects. So they're moving forward. Railroad Avenue Bridge, the design is ongoing. The Otero County Health Clinic repairs are complete, and we're looking to get that project completely closed out. The Weed Fire Department, the insurance repairs are complete, and they have a few little small pending items. That should be wrapping up in the next week or so. We do have a couple demo projects coming up, so I'm working with Cody, with code enforcement, to get those priced out and get those purchase ordered and on their way to being demoed. Shooting range, we talked about that. That's going to be kind of held off until we get this on-call in place. Cloud Country West and Upper Cox Canyon, the new electric service was installed at Cloud Country West, and the plumbers are now in there just finishing up the last of their tie-ins to the pump, and then those will be complete. The animal shelter renovation and canopy, the contractor's working to install the last of the kennels this week and complete the painting. And with that, I want to thank Loretta and her staff for working with us. That shelter's always full, and we were having to clear out areas to get the work done, and they did work really well with us. So I want to thank them for that. Other than that, we got a few other little small projects in the planning, but nothing to really report on just yet. So I'll take questions.
It's a lot.
It is. Charles Walker dedication plate for the fire department. What's the status on that?
For the plaque?
I have not had a chance yet to get with Matt on that, but we need to work on that to see how we want it worded, what we want to do with it. That way we can bring something to present to you guys.
I haven't went and talked to the family on that yet, because I've been kind of waiting to see a time frame and what's happening. So he kind of give me a little heads up so I can notify them too, so make sure.
Okay,
Some of them, it's hard for them to go up there,
right,
so that's why.
okay.
Yeah, and I didn't mention it at the weed meeting just because I didn't know where it was.
Mhm.
And that would have been good to let them know. They did a big, beautiful dedication up there for him.
Nice. We will get to work on that.
Anything else?
Got it.
Nope.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, Trent. And Nina is not here today, but I have her numbers. Okay, these are her population totals. Average daily population, 166. Total population today is 167. In-house population, 145. We have 118 males, 27 females. We have 6 at Otero Prison, 6 on treatment furlough. Out-of-county courts, 3. Furlough, 2. Lincoln County, 1. Total juveniles, there's 3 and they're all at Donna Ana. Video courts, municipal was 52. Magistrate court was 134. District court was 114. Out-of-county courts, 7. In-person court, 10. Magistrate court, 1 district court. Full-time vacancies, 11 full-time officer vacancies, 1 full-time office specialist. The facility will be including interviews for the office specialist. And in training, they PREA training, all staff have completed that training. Department of Corrections, 3 males transported to Central New Mexico Corrections Facility in Los Lunas. And under others, she has Employee of the Month of September 2025 was Detention Officer Alfredo Lopez. The Overwatch biosensor watches are up and running in the booking area. We'll be working on them to get to medical and other restrictive housing areas completed. That's her report. And I don't think we have the Forest Service here today, so we will not get a report from them. And on the consent agenda item, we're going to pull number 14 for discussion and number 15 for discussion. So I'm going to read the rest of them and we'll approve them, and then we'll go back and do those 2. Okay, number 1, request approval of accounts payable bills BL9, BL9A, BL10, BL11, and BL12. Number 2, request approval of August 14th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Number 3, request approval of September 15, 2025 special meeting minutes. Number 4, request approval of healthcare assistance claims and disposition claims for October 2025. Number 5, request approval of property liens for reimbursement of unclaimed disposition services for October 2025. Number 6, request approval of resolution number 10-15-25/114-17, Colonias Loan and Grant Agreement for Road and Drainage Improvements in Benton, New Mexico, totaling $225,000. Number 7, request approval of resolution number 10-15-25/114-18, Colonias Loan and Grant Agreement for Road and Drainage Improvements in La Luz, New Mexico, totaling $225,000. Number 8, request approval of resolution number 10-15-25/114/20, finding that 1668 Main Street, Oro Grande, New Mexico is a public nuisance requiring renovation by owner or removal by the county. Number 9, request approval of resolution number 10-15-25/114-21, budget adjustments, October 2025. Number 10, request approval of resolution number 10-15-25/114-22, a resolution supporting the New Mexico County's legislative priorities for 2026. Number 11, request approval to go out to bid to hire an internet technology company to take over all services related to IT services for Otero County, with the exception of the Sheriff's Office and Taberta. Number 12, request approval of a letter of support for the Tularosa Municipal School search for funding for a new swimming pool. Number 13, request approval to award RFP 26-002 in the amount of $75,000, not including New Mexico gross receipts tax, for 1 year to state legislative lobbyist to Zach Cook, LLC. Number 16, request approval to submit volunteer fire assistance grants to New Mexico State Forestry. Number 17, request approval to submit unsubmitted Public Employees Retirement Association para reports for high roles volunteer firefighters under the Volunteer Firefighter Retirement Act. Number 18, request approval to accept awarded Helping Heroes grant program through New Mexico Gas Company for high roles Volunteer Fire Department for $50,000. Number 19, request approval to submit grant applications to New Mexico Emergency Medical Systems, EMS Bureau, Local Systems Improvement Projects, EMS Vehicle Purchase Project, Statewide EMS Systems Improvement Project, and Trauma System Improvement Project. Number 20, request approval of a renewal of an agreement between Otero County and Trinity Food Service. And it just says see attached for sliding schedule. Number 21, request approval of an agreement between Otero County and Vital Core Health Strategies at an increased cost of $196,067.31 annually. Number 22, request approval of the name change of Mule Canyon to McDonald Flats, the Miller Flats area. Need a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're going to pull number 14 for discussion, which is request approval to purchase new agenda software in the amount of $17,048 through Civic Plus using the Interlock Purchasing System, contract 220105.
Commissioners, this is my item, so
Okay.
Wendy will not be here. We have been with our current agenda software, been with it since 2008. It's not user-friendly. We have technical issues repeatedly, it not posting to the internet, which risks us by law getting the agenda out there. We have tech issues and technical support is poor. It doesn't do some of the things required of us now, like for instance, as you know, we've discussed in 2026, all of these documents on our website and for the agenda have to be ADA compliant. It doesn't do that. Staff has to manually go in and tinker with these documents. So what we did is we went out for bid, and the prices ranged between $6,350 to $85,063. What we decided to do, we had a good recommendation with Civic Plus, and they were $18,390 for the initial cost. What we did was we found out they were in state contract and we can go directly with them. Staff did do a demo of this software. You know, we use a lot of Civic Plus. It does automatically make all of our documents ADA compliant. That saves staff a lot of time. It's very user-friendly. It's easy to use. It's easy for staff to put the agendas together. The increased cost per year we're looking at is about $6,000, but it is leaps and bounds ahead of what we currently have. We could stay with the same company for the same price, but we're not getting much improvement or really a spectacular software that we're looking for.
So to offset that additional $6,000, you think that's probably savings in people's time trying to?
Oh, for sure, for
input
sure.
that.
I
I
think,
know.
and we have a lot of struggles that a lot of departments, because they don't use it enough, just don't know how to do it. So Sylvia is putting in directors' agendas for them, their items, when they should be doing it themselves. So with this new system, it's gonna be a lot easier for staff to get trained, and this does provide training for staff.
This thing says it's 10,968.
That's a year.
Annually.
Yes, yeah, which is a $6,000 increase over the current
Okay,
software.
got it.
There's a one-time initial cost of $17,000.
So another thing is, we're going out to bid for IT. I called several IT companies, and they said that's one of the things when they come in, is they analyze all the software packages that we're using and all that, see what's duplicated, see what we could get better, what we can get rid of, and all of that. And I was wondering if this is something that they're going to look at and say, no, this isn't necessary.
IT department is not involved in this software. This is solely staff's software that we work on to give you that agenda.
But
And I would like to keep that close in the manager's office, because my office is responsible for what you have in front of you.
because we buy an awful lot of software.
This company, Civic Plus, is doing a lot of our other functions now, including our website, the code enforcement software we just got, the public record software, and the social media archiving software. So having it all be the same company is going to help with the plug and play, the connectiveness of it all.
Okay. I'm not against it. I just want to make sure I'm
Yeah.
not duplicating it.
We are not duplicating.
Okay.
We're making large improvements.
And I'm glad the ADA compliance piece is in that, because I've been stressed out about that.
Yes, when we had the demo, that was one of the things I asked, if this software incorporates that, click of a button, make it ADA compliant. And they said, yes, their new update with the software that will take place before we start with it will include that.
Okay.
Because right now, and I've discussed it with Abe, none of those documents are ADA compliant. So to get there, IT staff is going to have to manually go pull every document, convert it, put it back out there. So this will prevent us from having those problems in the future, but we do have to go back retroactively on our website and make all those compliant.
And all the department heads are good with doing their own agenda items now?
They're gonna find out. And it doesn't have to be the director, it can be an administrative staff, and it's only really a handful of departments. And I get it, because it's not a user-friendly system, that we've been pretty, we'll just take care of it for you, it's quicker, it's easier, we know what we need to get it done.
Okay, you guys ready to do your own agendas? Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. Get a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the purchase of the agenda software in the amount of $17,048 through Civic Plus using Interlock Purchasing System with an annual increase of $6,000 per year.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we pulled number 15 because Sheriff Black wanted to discuss that. I see he's back. Okay.
So lens lock is our body cams and then our in-car video systems. So as we bring in new units, we have to add equipment and stuff to those. Body cams have been pretty much status quo, the same numbers and stuff, but again, as we get new vehicles, we add new systems. So to explain it a little further, technology is not my strong point, that's why I have him. So I'll turn this over to Lieutenant Emery and have him kind of give you the rundown.
The company that we contract through for providing our body cams and our in-car video system, as well as the cloud portal and stay CGIS compliant, they have a new legal team. And in doing so, they've revamped all of their contracts, paperwork, and everything that needs to be taken care of. Included with that was a form that I had to send to RB as the county representative for legal that needed signed off, which is why we're here today. We're not asking for more money. We already, during budget period, we already budget ahead of time for increase of devices that we're predicting. So this is pretty much staying pretty status quo on, we're actually a little bit under budget for this coming payment that's due next month.
So you just need us to agree on the new agreement, basically?
Essentially,
Okay.
we need an agreement on the record, and we need the ability for RB to sign off on the lesser attorney's contract.
Okay. RB, do you have anything to add, or?
No, this was just like a formality
Okay.
that we've been doing this. We didn't have a formal approval from the commission, but approved the budget for it, but didn't approve the actual purchase.
Okay.
This is just going back and making sure that is on the record and approved.
Okay.
So did we approve it last time with 5 payments of $91,000? Because the new one that we're approving is 5 payments of $111,000. That's what was handed to us today. So, but this one that was given to us is $91,000.
This is actually year 4 contract. We've been contracted with them for 3 years already. So this is moving forward into year 4. The initial one was paid for out of ARPA funding, which I had come in and requested for. And like I said, it's gonna increase with the amount of devices. So we didn't just buy our entire fleet at the first time. We only bought what we were outfitting new. So that's why each vehicle kit is $1,800 a year lease. This is why we was able to get EOC and Matt's vehicles discounted, because we are predicting to have so many devices.
So the one that's in the agenda has less vehicles? Is that the reason for the price increase?
We just increased, we added 8 vehicle kits and 5 body cams because
Okay.
of the manpower increase
Okay.
and the requirements of body cams on pretty much everybody,
Right.
And it's 1,800 a year, you said, to lease per vehicle?
per vehicle.
Okay, that's not bad.
But we don't have to pay any additional warranty costs, we don't have to pay for any RMA, any shipping. If I have a device goes down, I literally send them an email, they send overnight me a device and send me a shipping label with it. So we have no other costs incurred with this contract,
Okay.
with the exception of obviously an increase of devices.
Right.
And then they will prorate them as well, so we're not paying $1,800 for 2 months. It'll be prorated for whatever time period up to the
Okay.
contract, and it gets added to the contract. Which is why this one jumped from 91 to 111, because they forgot to include the new devices on the initial.
Okay.
Tell them. Too bad.
I wish it was that simple.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so,
He said it in English, I can understand it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Try.
Yeah,
That's what I have to tell him.
yeah, yeah. IT for dummies, please.
Yeah, bring it down to where we can understand it.
so when we make the motion, do we need to specifically reference the new prices because of what's in
I
the
would
agenda?
just put in the price in your motion, so we know for the record which one was approved, since we have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the equipment agreement between Lenslock and the Otero County Sheriff's Office with an annual fee of $111,409 annually, 4 payments.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our scheduled citizen communication, Jan Waffle. Come on down.
Good morning, honorable commissioners.
Good
County
morning.
manager, administrative staff.
Good morning.
You're all doing well today.
We're hot.
Well, I wanted to
We're
come
missing
by
our air.
and discuss the displays for the White Sands Museum of Film History with you. As you may or may not know, the City of Alamogordo City Commission voted unanimously, all 7, to provide the LEADA funds for the renovation of the White Sands Theater. I was there, Matt from the board for the Flickinger was there also, speaking in support of the renovation. So they funded $1 million out of $1.2 million. That gets it paint ready and completely renovated and up to code. Everything else comes out of the owner's pocket, the .2, and all the decoration, he's taking it back to the original Art Deco theme. And I've done a great amount of research on the White Sands Theater. I've even come up with the front page edition of the Alamogordo News and the original grand opening ad for the grand opening on August the 3rd, 1937.
Wow.
In the Alamogordo Daily News, July the 29th, 1937. Even tells what the feature is that they're going to show. It talks about the state of how modernistic the theater is going to be and how beautiful it is. So hoping to take that back to something that echoes its heyday. So I was speaking with the owner of the theater, and within the LEAP fund stipulation, he checked to see if he could pay for the displays for the museum. And what we're doing is a display for every 10-year bracket of film history. So our first films were in 1911. We would take those first 3 films and everything that was filmed up through 1920. Then we would start with 21 through 30 on the next display and so forth. To bring us up to modern times, it would take 12. and that would bring us up through 2025 and 2030. So we have a picture of the display here. This is the prototype that I had commissioned last year. And it's a 4 by 4 foot display, 3 inches deep shadow box. It has locks top and bottom so that no one can get into it and remove items once it's affixed, and decorated inside with all the posters, the pictures, the articles, and the memorabilia that goes inside. We also stipulated polycarbonate glass so that it was shatterproof. So everything behind it is protected, it's tinted, so that even if there's sunlight coming in from one of the windows and it hits a display, it won't denigrate and fade whatever is inside of it. So this is the first one, and I actually paid for this out of my community services grant. I had it commissioned with the Gott Brothers Construction out of Las Cruces. Nathaniel works with Main Street Project, and Nolan Ojeda had referred me to him for the construction. Now, that was a year ago, and the prices increased for the materials a little bit, but not that much. Every display would be $420, and we come up with a better lock that we're going to use. We like this one, but we've got a keyed locking system, top and bottom, that we're going to put in there, and that required, I think, $18 more or something to get the locks that we talked about. So when I spoke with the owner, one of the things he cannot do with the LEDA funding is pay for the displays. So what I'm here today to talk to you about is he has donated the space, which he told me, as far as he was concerned, the whole second floor was the museum. That we could have access to all the walls on the second floor, and there was plenty of room to put the 4 by 4 displays. And so that is where they have a home and where they can reside. I have been doing the research for the last 7 years to put everything together for the contents of these displays. We're planning and shooting for an opening date of June the 26th, 2026. And we want to bring the author in for a book signing who wrote a book that was researched from 1983 to now for American theaters, and all 50 states went back and forth photographing hometown theaters. And she is the professor of photography at High Point University in High Point, North Carolina, which the Princeton Review says is the best run university in the United States.
I'm glad we have one.
She's featuring the sands in her book. So, and she could only feature, out of 1,100, she could only feature 504 with pictures. And she said the sands was the best condition, unrenovated, still standing theater of all that she encountered in her travels.
Wow.
So she and I have been communicating, and we've become friends, and her publisher said, would you like for her to come out for a book signing? And we said this could be our first event at the theater. Books available, her right there to talk about and sign the books for everyone that features our theater. And that would be really an outstanding thing for us. So what I would like to do is I'd like to ask you if there, what I was intending to do with the owner was, if he played for the displays, they became a part of the theater, and he owned them. I did the contents, provided everything for the inside, and donated all my time. And he would own the displays and own the museum displays. But now that he cannot pay for that with the renovation funds, I'm seeing things in a different light. And I'm thinking that if there's any way that you guys could fund the money for the displays, then they would belong to Otero County and belong to this administration as property for the county. And they would be under your control if you ever wanted to take them out and say this building in 40 years became a museum. because of its historic value, and you have a new meeting place or a new courthouse, you could put them in here. It could be the opening displays for a museum here in this historic building. With your murals and everything that you have here, it would someday make a really nice museum. So I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking 20, 30, 40 years from now, when I'll be long gone, but these would still be around for people to see and enjoy. And I just want to give you a recap. Up through the 30th of September, we have done registrations for 9 projects. That's one every month. And that is the first time I've ever been able to say that we have tied down a registration for a project for every single month. I've got a list of them. I did a presentation for 4 classes. We switched out 2 classes and then switched out 2 more at Tularosa Middle School yesterday. So I did a presentation for them, and I put these statistics together for the teachers and for the kids, and I thought, I should tell them that. And right now the Human Series is showing on PBS, and thanks to the Nichols family and White Sands and the Bison Reserve up at San Miguel. If you watched the Human Series Into the Americas on Wednesday night last week, or you can still watch it with Passport on PBS if you are a member, and you can watch it as many times as you want. They spent a great deal of time out at White Sands talking about the footprints. They went to the grinding stones. They showed all of that up on the Nichols Ranch and the Bison Reserve up in San Miguel County. And I set them up with all their locations after that Zoom meeting with BBC Scientific in Glasgow. So if you get a chance, it is a great series. Our star archaeologist is the female Indiana Jones, according to archaeological circles, because she goes into dangerous places for archaeology. So that is going on as well. But I'm here to show you that I have a paid receipt for the first display. 11 others are needed. And if there's any way that you could fund the displays, they would be your property and belong to Otero County. And that would be the stipulation now that he cannot pay for the displays with the funds that he's obligated to use for reconstruction.
And this funds, is that, I could be wrong on this, correct me if I am. Didn't the city approve like $1 million for renovacation on the sands?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
that's that
$1
we
million.
did.
The renovation estimate was $1.2 million, but he is picking up everything over the $1 million LEDA funds himself. And that includes all the decorations, the electronics equipment, getting it back to Art Deco of the period. And we're searching for pictures inside. We realize they're going to be in black and white, but we've already found news articles and gotten, because we have Alamogordo News stationed at the Chamber of Commerce, they actually got their archivist to pull up the front page with the article about how the theater was decorated and who decorated it and what style it was in. Some great information. Now, if we can just find pictures, we can duplicate that too.
Have you checked with our museum? Because they've got thousands of pictures.
That is, Joe is one of the people that I'm
Okay.
going to question and see if he might have something of that nature to help us out.
Okay.
But I really think with the plans that he's got going, it's going to be stunning, you know, before it's over. So if we're not ready to open by the 26th, we're going to appeal to maybe the Flickinger to use Patrons Hall for our book signing, or have it out front of the theater. But we think that we'll be ready to open by the end of June.
Okay.
Commissioners, if I may, this is a scheduled citizen communication. You can't vote on it.
Okay.
And in discussions with RB, because this is private property, privately owned, we can do this, but we need to have an agreement with the owner
Okay.
about how it's cared for. So what I suggest is we work with Jan and the owner to get first the price,
Okay.
and then with RB an agreement in place and bring it back to you
Okay.
if you want to consider it.
Okay.
Put it on the agenda.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I was also wondering if there was anybody local that could build them.
Nathaniel has been working here in this sector for Main Street for so long, and I guess there wasn't anyone they could outsource some of the work to, that they suggested that I try him. And he's really done a great job. I'd really be comfortable with keeping him. But I can look and see if there is anyone else who would give us a bid. I could not get a bid from anyone else until I got one from him. So, because it's very small potatoes
Yeah.
for most construction companies to do something like this. And I appealed to him, just through the historical value of what we're trying to preserve. So I actually talked him into it. So.
I'm sure that trophy shop on New York Street needs some business
Are we,
for your
okay.
shadow boxes.
I didn't know if they did anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they used to make retirement signs and plaques and
Flag
things of that
boxes.
nature. But this takes a workshop, so.
And commissioners, depending on the price, 3 quotes are most likely going to be necessary
Okay,
anyway,
yeah.
because this will go through our procurement process.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if we can get 3 prices, I'd be so happy with that.
Yeah, I'd like to see some local quotes in there, just to support local.
Yeah.
I
You're
understand.
gonna have a hard time beating that price, I can tell you
I
that.
know, but if it's
Yeah,
$25 more and it's local, it's worth it.
he's actually giving us a break on his labor, so. But I'll be glad to do that. So.
Great, that's exciting.
It
Thank
is.
you.
Yes, it's
Thank you
really
for all your
exciting.
work on
Plus,
that.
I've got to get it all done and get the displays. I need a few months to get everything together and get the displays decorated and finished. I am meeting with one of our muralists that did one of the murals downtown about the background for every display so that they're coordinated. And he's agreed to volunteer his time, and I'm everyone that I'm getting together to help and it's going to volunteer time toward the decorations and stuff, I'm gonna consider them on the list of founders of the museum because they've donated sweat equity to get it together and to help with it. So,
Be exciting to have that building fixed
Yes,
up,
definitely.
Oh.
I remember going to the movies there.
yeah, can't wait.
I know.
And it's, I think that it's really gonna add a lot to our community. We're community events. And it's going to make the Flickinger and that theater the arts and cultural downtown theater district of
Right.
Alamogordo. And that's what they're all hoping for, both entities, is that people would crisscross and go to events on both sides of the street and just enhance what they already have there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for bringing
Thank
this
you.
to us, and we'll
All right,
we'll
thank you
keep
very
working on
much.
this.
Commissioners, Gary Stone left.
Okay.
Because we would just like, put Mr. Robinson would like to say.
Okay, all right. Mr. Robinson? And you've got 3 minutes.
Okay. Good morning, how you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
I'm just here because I had started a company, and I'm doing work in the city. A company called Computer Provisions. We are doing local repair for now, looking to branch out to e-commerce. But for that particular entity is going to be doing local repair here in the city, in the county, wherever you can find a way if you need computer services as far as like repair or anything. You can drop it off at the Inkwell, which just opened up for the the spaces for renting offices out. I rented an office there. I'll be there for the most part until I'm able to secure a commercial building for myself, but for right now, that solution is working very well because there is a front desk attendant there when I'm out to take in the computers, should that be required or necessary. Then she just moves it back to the office for me to come in later on to work and service them. Then I call the customer and let them know, hey, your computer's ready to be picked up. Then we just kind of reverse the process back out, bill them, and receive payment. But I just wanted to let everyone know that I am doing computer services in town here, located at the Inkwell, 314 9th Street. If you want to stop by, anyone that needs their computers worked on or whatever the case is, I'm there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for telling us about that.
You're welcome. Let's go ahead and take off here.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, now we're going to move on to new business. Number 25, request approval of resolution number 10-15-25/114-19, amending the 2027 through 2031 ICIP.
Commissioners, we briefly touched on this earlier, that I would just like to get the courthouse put on the ICIP until the project's complete, just in case something happens and we have to request some funding. You could just add it to the bottom, number 10, or if you want and so choose right now, you can reorganize them all again, but that is up to you. An amendment does require that I notify the state again, because we had a deadline on this. That's why you have a resolution in there as well that you have to sign.
I suggest put it on the bottom, because it'll be next year before this thing's really going, and if it's going to a train wreck, then we can move it to the top before.
I suggest the same. And it doesn't preclude you from adding it to your top 5 in capital outlay, even if it's number 10. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Any more
I'll make a
questions?
motion to approve. Let me request approval of resolution 10-15-25, 11-14-19, amending the ICIP request.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Okay, number 26, request approval to apply for the FY26 Animal Welfare Program up to $400,000 with a contingency of $75,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Loretta Burks, County Manager for the shelter.
You know, that's a bribe when you hand her that dog.
It might work.
Hey.
I have Pablo here with me. He's the grant writer for the county. So I think, you want me to start off? I think there was a misunderstanding on this. So the $75,000 is built into the grant that we asked for. It's not a fund that we have to come up with.
Yay, I like that
So if you
better.
do your numbers, you'll see that we've asked for $300,000 for the grant for items. They've allotted us $25,000 for taxes, grocery receipts, taxes, so on and services. We asked for the additional $75,000 to cover the cost of anything that might change as far as what we've got quoted this year versus what might be charged next year. So a kind of flexibility in our budget. So the $75,000 is not an additional fee that we had to come up out of pocket. When we were asked at the grant, we said no matching funds from the county.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the confusion starts with the expression owner's contingency, which sounds like the county is gonna commit to
Right.
bring that money. No, if we get the grant that includes the 75,000 contingency, the county is responsible to manage that money, to allocate it to whatever is needed in case there is some issue that has been unforeseen.
Okay.
So, and I contact the grant managers, and I clarify all that. We have no obligation of that money. It will be included if we get awarded in
If we
the
get the whole,
400,000.
yeah, if we get the whole amount. Now, they could only award us $300,000.
Okay.
And then we have to decide from there what we're gonna do. But this is all gonna be, will probably come into play on next year's budget, so this would be a start, but we would, if we needed funds, we would address you guys at the time for next year's budget to cover whatever cost overruns we might see at that time.
Okay.
But right now, we're just asking, this grant was for a separate facility to house mothers and puppies away from general population so that they're not exposed to the diseases and stuff that comes in off the street when the animals come in the general population. So this will give us a facility to house the mothers and the puppies, or puppies that come in by themselves without mothers, away from the general population so they can be treated and they can be taken care of separately from the rest of the animals.
Where are you gonna locate this at?
That's gonna be a tight fit, but we've got a spot in the back of the facility. We had also included taking the fence down. We're going to take the fence down if we do that. So we're talking about getting one of those buildings that we were talking about for Chaparral, a smaller version, not one of the bigger ones. And it'll be parked against the back wall of the facility because we have access to utilities back there, the water and the electricity. So the building that we're asking for is completely plumbed and ready to go. It just has to be hooked up to the water and hooked up to the electricity.
And sewer also?
Yes, yes.
Can you get to the sewer from
Yes,
the?
there's actually a drain right in the middle of our backyard area. There is a big drain that goes into the main drain that goes
Okay.
to the city.
Because I'm hoping when we get Chaparral going, we eliminate we're not gonna eliminate the 80% that you house from down there, but if we can eliminate 50%, you won't have such a big problem. But now that you're explaining it with the isolation part, I kind of have a little different
And for those
concept
who
on it.
follow us, you'll know that Monday we had a litter dropped off at our doorstep in a duffel bag.
I heard about
Our
that.
6 newborn puppies, still with umbilical cords, that were dropped off in a duffel bag, and it was actually not on the doorstep, it was out at an employee's car. They just set it beside the employee's car and walked off. So there's a need, when those are actually in fosters right now being taken care of because they have to be hand-fed twice, every 2 hours or so, every 2 hours, every hour to every 2 hours. But once those get to the point where they're weaned and they're ready to be adopted, they would go into a facility like that. They'd go into the isolation facility where they're not exposed to everything that comes in off the street.
So when you're applying to that, will that limit you to apply for another grant like that for the Chaparral facility?
No, this one's wholly for us. We actually were considering trying to get the Chaparral for the Chaparral, but we were already told that this was not gonna work for the Chaparral. It needed to be for our facility here in Alamogordo. So, but we are looking out for other funds that we can apply to the Chaparral facility.
Okay, cool.
So, we're good?
Yeah.
I apologize for not asking for approval to apply for the grant in time. It was a short 2-week window to apply for this grant. It came up and we worked to get it applied for, and I understand now that I should have asked for permission, and I apologize for not asking for permission. But we have applied for it, and we are still in the process of going through the application process, so we'll see where we land when we come out of it. And again, they may not give us the whole amount, they may only give us a portion, and then we'll address it at that time. When we get an award, we'll address what we need to see the project through.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be $75,000.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, no, that's what I
Julianne,
thought
you
too
good?
last night, but no.
Are you
sorry.
good? Are you good? Because you're going to be wrangling this
I
night.
can't hear you.
I said, are you doing good? I mean, with this, you don't have any questions or anything?
No,
Okay.
I think it should be fine, especially when I find out that the 75,000 is not a match. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I know. I think everybody was good with that.
Yeah, so if you did the numbers, you would see that it comes out to the 300,000, and then down at the bottom is 25,000 for the taxes and grocery receipts, tax on services, and then there's the $75,000 that we've built into it, asking that they give us that extra for fluctuation in prices.
Cool.
Okay?
I will make a motion to approve the application for animal welfare program up to $400,000.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I leaving that one with you?
I don't know if you're getting it back or not.
She's bored. She says, I've had enough of this, I want to run.
Yes.
She's precious.
Thank you.
Go adopt, everybody go adopt.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, number 27, request approval of the replacement of computers for the Sidney Paul Gordon shooting range at the cost of $5,000. Oh,
Okay, does that mean you brought guns for us to play with?
I know. There you go.
Come
You
on
should
now.
have come out on Saturday. Hi, Commissioners. Chelsea Zimmerman with the Sidney Paul Gordon Shooting Range.
First, apologies that this was not in the budget requests a few months ago. We were not tracking that we would need new computers because of the software updates. What we have right now is not going to be compatible with the new Windows 11 stuff that has the security requirements that are needed. So we're requesting replacement of 2 laptops and the desktop in the office. And right now, the quotes that we have available are going to be just under $5,000.
Is this something that a new tech company could take care of?
No, you're still gonna have to pay for new computers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the replacement of computers for the Sidney Paul shooting range at the cost of $5,000.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Even though I didn't get to play with a gun.
Thank you. Well, Abe has been great the last couple weeks because my laptop has been trying real hard to become a Frisbee.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 28, request approval of a drone program at 0 cost for the first year with a review scheduled for 6 months to evaluate its effectiveness. I'm excited about this.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
So I brought my counterpart up. So, I've been visiting El Paso. As you guys know, I have a great relationship with El Paso 911, and they recently launched their full drone program down there. I believe they have 37 drones across the city of El Paso on their unmanned drones. So they're out of a box, and when they're ready, they open up and they launch and they go to the coordinates. They have a huge drone program. There's like 7 people in there. El Paso, the police department, the sheriff's office, border patrol. I think they have an FBI agent in there also, and they have a couple other people in that division. Really cool program, really cool technology that's in there. So I've been talking to them about something for us. We have a huge county, a lot of land that we need to cover, and not easy for our deputies or fire personnel. So I'm taking it in 2 different stances. One, not only for our law enforcement, but also for emergency services, fire. We had that fire up in Mescalero, very hard to pinpoint where that fire was. We actually requested native air for the helicopter. We know about 45 minutes until they can get up in that air. I can put a drone in the air and have it there within 7 minutes from the initial 911 call, especially on the Mesa. Not even just that, out on the road to get crash scene information. So speaking to El Paso, they use Brink is who we're looking at. They recently received a huge grant from Motorola to fund pilot programs for the first year for agencies. So this would be, they'd fund the full pilot program, they would drop the drone off, they'd put it on our building, we would initiate it, and it actually integrates with our CAD system, so we can initiate it on literally the 911 call as the dispatchers are entering it. Launch that drone, share it to the field, and our officers, our fire personnel, everybody would know exactly what they're walking into. Very similar to like what Carbine does with the click link share. But this is now, we're kind of controlling that. We're not having someone to have to control this for us. So speaking to the sheriff, speaking to Matt, Emergency Service Director, we can see very beneficial things. One drone's not gonna cover our whole county. I think we're gonna need many drones. But I think if we can start this pilot program, that's given us a chance to do it and review in 6 months to see what type of calls we've had, what type of information. There's been a couple of cool things, and I don't even know if the sheriff and I really discussed it, was like car crashes. The drone can take aerial pictures of it and actually send that information to them, so when they're building their crash reports, they actually have like 3D photos and everything like that. So very seamless. This is only one company. There's another company out there, Flock, that does drones too, and I've been reaching out to them. They're also are willing to do a drone pilot program with us, not as long as a year, maybe a couple months, but that's something as I work with them a little bit closer and bring it to you guys to see, and we can pilot maybe both of them and then see which ones are better. I can tell you Flock has a little bit cheaper product after their pilot program, but speaking to El Paso, they're Brink customers and they really like Brink a lot, so I don't know if you have anything.
John and I talk about this quite a bit, and I think I love it. I think it will be so beneficial to a lot of people, getting some eyes on real quick and stuff. So I think where we'll kind of come in is we'll have to work together as far as the writing of the grant, applying for the grant and stuff like that. So.
And there's a lot of grants out there that El Paso's shared with us, but it's gonna have to be on the law enforcement side, so that's where we'd work together on that.
I think it's great. Yeah.
Isn't Flock the one that we just did for the Bolos?
Yeah.
So wouldn't they talk to each other?
Yeah, so Flock would, but speaking to them, they just launched, or I guess when's the chief conference, this week, right, or next week?
Next week, yeah.
There's a chief conference in Denver that they're launching one of their new drones. It's about the same price of Brink's drones, but this drone's a lot bigger and actually can fly a lot longer, about an hour and 20-minute uptime. And they recommend that we buy their bigger box, so there would be 0 downtime on a drone, so it'd fly in, go to the docking station, pull the battery out, pop a new battery in, and then take off again. Where Brink, right now, we'd have a downtime. They'd have to land, for about 30 minutes to recharge that drone and then bounce back up. I'm thinking right now for initial stuff, to get our initial information out there, I think it would be great for his detective bureau when they're doing stuff out in the Mesa and stuff like that. So I think we're just getting our feet wet, and it's kind of start the process and work our way towards it. So over the next few years, I think this would be something that could be huge in our county. I think we need to have dedicated people to man this drone program. But to start off, I think it could be done, in-house and through the sheriff's office.
So, sounds very interesting, but have you worked with Holloman to see what their regulations are on?
Yeah, so I've.
Because you are gonna fly across some of their area if you go to the Mesa.
So if we stay in the corridor of the highways, as long as they're not they shut down the road for their, Winsmer is doing their stuff. The drone, because it's unpiloted drones, they build it all off of airspace. And because the drones don't fly in the airspace that helicopters or planes do, we'd actually fall underneath that we can fly in a lot of places that people don't realize that we can fly in. They work on all the FAA regulations for us. They actually will do the certifications for us in-house. But what's nice is we don't have to have a person to man the drone. And that was one of the conversations we had, was this is unmanned. We put a Latin long in, the drone flies there. And it will build out a whole flight plan and everything like that within seconds. Right now, with the drones that we may have at the sheriff's office and stuff, we actually have to have a pilot to do that. And if they're busy, they're in the office, they're in a meeting, they have to go get it from the sheriff's office. It takes time, and we have seconds to get information to our responders, and this is what we need. And we may be able to actually cut down some of our responses for them. We get a person laying in the middle of the road on Highway, 70 or 54. We throw a drone up, we go and look, we don't see anything, cancel the deputies. Stuff like that, and I think we can use that to help us. Fights at Veterans Park in Tularosa. Fly that drone up there. Is there an actual fight going on? No. Deputies, do you want to go or do you not want to go? This is what we have on videos. And they can see that in their cars as we dispatch them too.
Is that information iterable? I mean, do we have to store that video for a certain amount of time?
Yeah, we'll have to store it, but it's all cloud-based, so it stores, and then our records department will, just very similar to how we do our 911 to videos. It's stored in the clouds, and if people request it, then they request it from there.
Which is like body cams, it would
Yeah.
only be 120-day storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And what if somebody shoots it down?
We get a new one? They replace it, that's part of the program, so part of that contract, if we do continue with it, every 2 years, they replace the brand new drone with us with the latest and greatest drone. They provide the new updates in the technology and everything like that, so they really do take care of the programs. We can label it to make it look like our police cars, it's got sirens on it. It does have payloads, which is pretty cool too. So we can attach an AED or Narcan or like a little first aid kit. So depending on that hiker we had that fell off the cliff, about a 2-hour time before we got hikers to him, we could put a drone up there and provided him his first aid kit to maybe start putting, whatever it was, or just water. I mean, there's the payload aspect to it too. So not only for law enforcement, I think it's gonna work for both that, and I think with the road shop too, it's something we can use for that with aerial footage of floods and stuff that we've been seeing lately too. So I think it's not just benefit to the public safety world, I think it'd be benefit to everybody in the county for what this program could turn into.
So it's free for the first year. What is?
It's about $100,000 after that.
A year?
Yeah, and that's per drone. It's a very expensive program, but I think it's very beneficial. Speaking to El Paso, they haven't launched it just in their 911 center fully just yet, but the process is they get a structure fire. They've put that drone up there. The drone's going to be there within minutes before the fire department is. They can see exactly what's going on. They know exactly how to respond, and it's safer. We're not putting our officers and our firefighters and our EMS personnel at risk. I'd rather have a drone shot down and be done with it than a human. at this point. So I think it's a safer, and I think it's a good investment that we should really look at, it's expensive, but.
So next budget, we'll be approving drones instead of employees.
And robot sheriffs.
That's right.
Robo-dogs.
Right.
He was out there last night too.
Right. He asked for that too.
Yeah.
$300,000 for the chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like if we can start with this and then look at Flock and then kind of compare the two programs and then if we get that and we really like the program, then the sheriff and I will sit down and we'll start looking at some of those grants. The grant that the El Paso talked about that just funds drones is a regionalized program. He kind of explained it, I guess, like El Paso and Doniana are part of that region. So we'd have to figure out what region we're a part of and what other counties and who, if we're even taking money out of that pot right now. I mean, that grant program could have money sitting there with no one even realizing that it's there right now.
Okay.
It was some weird number letter, but I have it in an email from them.
So what kind of a contract do we need to sign now? So they're gonna provide this for a year.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna say, okay, now we're gonna try Flock Note or Flock, whatever
Yeah.
it's called. And
So we just have to, this is just the pilot program, if we don't do anything with it, it's auto gonna renew and then they're gonna send us the bill for the 100,000, or we have to cancel it before the pilot program is up. So,
should we try the Flock one first
I mean,
to see how it talks to
so the
that
current
system?
Flock system's not up just yet.
Oh,
So,
okay.
They're not installed.
Yeah.
It's still in the, lot of agreements with DOT and right-of-ways and stuff like that, so we don't even have any out just yet.
Okay. Okay. I like it.
I think it's great.
Cheaper than a helicopter.
It is.
Yeah, way cheaper.
But I can see it helping us too, search and rescues and stuff like that. I mean, we can cover some ground really, really quick. Instead of having 10 people spread out and search this area, we can do it real quick with the drone and stuff, so. Plus, I like the idea of being able to put something from the drone into the laptops and the deputies' vehicles and stuff. They got an idea of what they're getting into before they even get there. So.
And so what does flying over the mesa look like with the military?
Yeah, so I mean, it's all, they would build out flight plans for us with FAA and what we are actually able to fly and everything. And they have the flight plan, so all of it's all digitalized and they do it. So you say, I want to fly here, about 30 seconds go by, the drone will pop up because that's where it's doing its weather check, its flight plan. Just like a helicopter, it's still got to make sure it can still fly. I don't think we would have the issues like we're having with native, that there's cloud coverage and they don't want to fly. This drone will fly. But they work on all that stuff, and as long as they're not doing anything out there. But again, we sit in such a low airspace that most of the time drones can fly, even if they're still doing exercises, unless they determine that they're flying in that certain airspace also. But drones don't fly that high in the air, so.
I think a lot of that too on the Mesa stuff. I mean, you got that one dedicated area for Fort Bliss and stuff, and 9 times out of 10, we're going to be on the east side of that. We're going to be away from the military zone.
Okay.
And they're building the drones that you don't even hear them now anymore too. They put a silence feature on them, so you wouldn't even know that the drone's above you. So that's, I mean, it's a stealth mode that when we're coming in, people don't realize that there could be a drone above them for operations and stuff. So I think it could be used in multiple aspects.
Okay.
So they do all the licensing and they have licensing to fly like unoperated?
Mhm.
Like,
So they do it all.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve a drone program at zero cost for the first year with a review scheduled for 6 months to evaluate the effectiveness.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think this is gonna be cool.
Thank you.
Be good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 20.
We know who's gonna be chair next year, huh?
I didn't hear.
Yeah.
What did he say?
We know who's gonna be chair next year. You need another job.
No, I don't know how.
Okay, number 29. Request approval to appoint Anna Alday to keep Otero Beautiful Advisory Board.
Not here.
Yep, no, I actually called and asked if this is what the board wanted, and they completely support her, so I will make a motion to approve the appointment of Anna Alday to the Keep Otero Beautiful Advisory Board.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We do have one other vacancy, so if you guys know of anybody that would be willing to serve.
Who resigned?
Tommy Harrell and Sven.
Sven. Okay, so now we'll move on to our commissioners' reports.
Mine seems like the same old thing. Down to Chaparral.
I know, you do a lot of time in Chaparral.
Actually drove down there Monday night to have a meeting, and when I'm sitting at the gate waiting to go in, they call me and say, oh, by the way, we canceled.
After you got all the way down there? Oh, wow.
So anyway, but we've had some good meetings down there. I was supposed to take the 2 members from the Sacramento Mountain Foundation down with me last month, but John had to cancel because he had to go to court. So I told him we're getting another meeting set up with John, and it won't be during one of the other meetings, but we'll just go down whenever it's going to work for their calendars. Set through another meeting a Zoom meeting with the State Land Committee. That was a little confusing, but other than that, that's about all that's been running around doing.
Okay. I went to Angel Fire and spoke with the county commissioner while I was there, which turned out to be about school board issues, but it was good. I went to Jessica Sugg probate swearing in, the fair. I went to an election integrity meeting that I think was put on by NACO. It was very interesting. While I was in Los Alamos, I also spoke with the city commissioner about some of the issues going on there. I went to the Sacramento Mountains Foundation Terry Bradshaw speaking event.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Very, very good. That was just, I'm so thankful that they're doing for the community what they're doing. I was at that public lands webinar thing, I think maybe the same thing. The Ruidoso Lincoln Day dinner. I went to the debate held at Otero County Arts. I supported Take Your Bible to School Day and pushed it. I hope a lot of kids took their Bible to school. I voted.
I did too.
Yes. I traveled to Washington for the week. I went to the Battle of the Food Trucks. I went to the Cattlemen's Association meeting. A lot of issues going on there, and I was able to get an email address to send a letter to.
I saw that.
So yeah. And then obviously yesterday was Charlie Kirk's birthday, so supported by wearing red and trying to get as many people to wear red. And went to Otero County Night Out. I think that's all I did.
I'm sure there was some more probably. I just brought my calendar because I didn't have time to type it all out. So
Writing it up this morning.
yeah. Okay. Since our last meeting, well, actually at the last meeting, I was at the gathering of the counties at the state fair. That was really cool, and our booth was really cool again. So then I attended a New Mexico Association of Counties board meeting. Attended the Eastern Area Workforce Development Board meeting. Of course, we attended the Otero County Fair, and we went in together and purchased a pig. So we
I
always
forgot
like
about
to
that.
support the kids. Did you get your invoice?
I got it. I paid it.
I did, yeah.
Before I forgot about
Did you
it.
get yours?
The what?
Your invoice for the pig?
Yes.
Okay, and you could just pay it straight online. I just
Oh, I didn't see that.
paid
I
the
just
invoice.
mailed
Yeah,
the
it was
check.
super easy. So that was cool. Oh, and then we attended the Charlie Kirk Memorial at the Wade Building. I met with the RB, and I met with Jason Freeman from the Forest Service. I attended the Otero County Builders Association shrimp boil. That was really good. That shrimp was legit. And then I attended the Lincoln Reagan dinner in Ruidoso. I attended the Border Sheriff's Conference in Chandler, Arizona, and that was really cool. We got to listen to Katie Hobbs, their governor, which I'm not a fan, but at least she came. And then their Attorney General was there, and he did say an interesting thing that's happening in Arizona. They're starting to have these machines pop up. They almost look like an ATM machine, but they're for Bitcoins. And they're 100% not legit. They're getting people to put their entire life savings in there, and you get nothing for it. And they said it's almost impossible to trace the money once they get it. They said it's like a ghost thing. It's really, really getting bad in Arizona, so I wanted everybody to keep an eye out for that. What else did I do? Okay, then October, and it's Association of Counties Executive Board meeting in Santa Rosa. Attended the regular New Mexico Association of Counties Directors meeting in Santa Rosa also, and got to see the Blue Hole. That's the first time I've actually walked to it and saw it, and that's pretty cool. Then I attended the affiliate meeting for New Mexico counties in Albuquerque, and it was hosted by the attorneys affiliate, and to talk about some changes and some things that we need to do to start making it more compatible for the elected officials to work, you know, each elected official to work with each other and stuff. So it was an interesting meeting. And I attended the capital outlay meeting at ESU in Roswell. Senator Townsend was there speaking, and Representative Vincent. It was a really good meeting. Attended the Otero County Cattlemen's Association meeting up in Weed. And then, of course, last night we all attended the night out for our law enforcement, which was amazing. So that's what I've been doing, and taking care of my mama.
All right, Commissioners, I'm just going to go over a few things that I've done or working on. First one on my list is we are still really old school when it comes to job applications. It's all paper. We waste a lot of paper. You have to bring your application in, fax it in. The department heads pick up paper applications. I'm over it. So I am working with Abe to look at some options to getting it full digital. In the process, basically, you can apply online. It immediately sends applications to HR where they need to be, and the appropriate department head will get it immediately by email. We're looking at 2 companies. We have the first demo scheduled for November 5th. One of the companies is Tyler, which we use for our finance and payroll and HR software now. If we went with that company, if they got accepted for the job, it would pull that data automatically in. We also have a demo with another company that Donna Anna is using, so we're waiting to schedule that. It shouldn't be real costly. We're just talking about $5,000-$6,000. So that's exciting to get started on that. Attended National Night Out last night. That was a blast. We had a lot of fun. We had a table. Not many people picked up job applications, but some did. Went out on the Mesa with Tom last week to look at the flooded roads. I always enjoy doing that. I only get to it about once a year, but it's nice to get out there. Had a meeting with the Corps of Engineers to discuss the priorities that we had set for the flood areas and talked about next steps. And they are going to process all that information now and need about 30 days. So they're working on that. Attended the FEMA meeting on Monday in discussions with getting the damage inventory ready for them to consider. Then had a broadband meeting, and I will be touching base with each of you individually. There's some new funding coming out for public Wi-Fi. The internet providers can apply for it. We can apply for it for our buildings. So what we're doing with our consultants is I'm going to get with each of you, and each of you in your district, give it some thought, give me one location you want to see public Wi-Fi.
Just one?
Well, we're going to focus on 3 total. And we've got some other issues that we're working on too. I do want to let you know, Vicki, that your effort to help us reach out to the mayor of Cloudcroft was semi-successful. He called and said, yeah, that's great. We want Wi-Fi in town, and they've never heard from him again.
I saw him the other day, and he mentioned that, and he said, I haven't forgotten about it. He said, I've just been inundated lately.
Well, the
so.
consultants are chomping at the bit.
I
They
know.
really want to get this going.
Yeah.
So And then, just to let you know, next Friday, I am going to Tampa to the International County City Managers Association Conference. I've been a member since 2011. I've always wanted to go. I have signed up for more classes, seminars, webinars, lectures than I can possibly fit in my schedule. But I will send you that agenda just so you get a feel for what the discussions are and what I'll be attending. And I'm gone for about 5 days. And that's all I have.
Can I have a list of who already provides public Wi-Fi in my district before I make a decision on where it's needed?
I can have them reach out to the internet providers and see.
Like the La Luz Senior Center might have one already.
I mean, I can tell you that all your fire departments do, because that was an effort during COVID that we got grants for, that all the fire departments offer Wi-Fi that's free to the public. We're looking at our senior center, so I'm already looking at that,
Okay.
so leave those out. But yeah, anything else you can think of, you know, we're looking at libraries, public places where the public's allowed to sit in a parking lot and access internet.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at. So I'll touch base with you maybe early next week, and see if we can get some numbers in some places.
And I need to visit with you and RB for just a minute after the meeting,
Okay,
so don't dash.
okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. I attended most of the meetings that have already been mentioned, including the FEMA meetings, the Corps of Engineer meetings, the online public lands briefing, courthouse meetings, the courthouse. We're working really hard to be very meticulous in the planning before we start. The intent and hope is that that yields a smooth project that doesn't go over cost or have any surprises. That's a big hope. And then I've had some meetings on the metropolitan redevelopment designations that we're working on with Patriot Point. The resolutions that the city and county did were not sufficient for the lenders, and they wanted that process actually in place, and the county to sign some documents that you know, once we get into this, we will actually take possession of the land and be leasing it. That's the way that the tax breaks occur. And so the developer had to get an extension. Right now, it looks like he's got that into December. So I'm working with the attorneys at Module to get this process going as quickly as possible, and start working with the city to get the various public meetings scheduled. And it's going to be tight still. A whole plan has to be developed for the area once the area is identified. So going to do everything we can to make that happen, but I'm not sure exactly what the results are going to be. The developer did say this was probably going to delay the start of the project by 6 months, maybe more, which is unfortunate. I wish we'd started this process 2 years ago. We'd be in a better spot. So we're just behind the curve and trying to get caught up, and that's hard to do with this process. It's just not very fast. On Monday, there's going to be a meeting that the Soil and Water Conservation District is having at the fairgrounds at the Wade Building. It's to discuss the dams near Mayhill. And,
I registered to go to that.
yeah, so they would really like county representation. I have a court that conflicts with the start and then an appointment, and now we're in the conflict. So if I can be online for part of it, I will. But they, like I said, they wanted county representation. We're hoping at least one commissioner can attend. If all three or more than one of you are going to attend, we'll just need to know to publish a notice of quorum. But the private company that they've been working with is going to present data and information on the different costs to fix the dams or tear them out. It's very jaw-dropping, the cost. It's federal money, like, there's no way we will ever have that money that's required, so hopefully there will be some federal representation, but the challenge with that is the government is still being shut down, so they'll present the information, but it may need another meeting once the federal government's back running to present the information again.
So on that note too, RB, if they do away with the dams, who is gonna have the liability thrown out if a flood ever does? Say Curtis, for example. That's the most scary one of all of them. If they tear it down, do away with it, who is gonna be liable if that water comes down the canyon? Forest Service? Coleman? Where's that? Because it's all coming off of their land before it hits.
Probably us, maybe the Forest Service, but definitely the governmental entities and the ones that actually have money, which would be us and the federal government, because soil and water doesn't have very much. So it is something that we need to be mindful of and be documenting the steps and diligence that is done in assessing what way to go forward. But even removing them was a lot of millions of dollars. It wasn't the 140 to fix them, but it's still not cheap. So, like I said, this is going to need federal involvement, FEMA, Homeland Security, and I don't know if our partners in the Corps of Engineers that are currently involved in looking at this as part of the grant will be able to attend because of the shutdown. But that is part of what we're looking at with them, and so we'll make sure this information gets to them either on Monday or whenever they're able to start back up and the government, if it starts again, is back. So, but that's all I have unless you have some questions.
No, it's
Nope. Okay. Oh, and timeout. Can we reschedule the November and December meetings?
Are we changing them?
Well, I'm going to be in Santa Fe 13th and 14th, and our commission meeting scheduled for the 13th. I could do, like, if we move it to the 12th, just the day before. So that would be on a Wednesday.
I'm good on the 12th.
You are?
I think I am too.
Okay. Are you guys?
I have to move my staff meeting yet again. I just moved it because it was scheduled today. Now I'll have to move it again.
Sorry.
We'll make it work, the 12th of November.
And then December, we're scheduled to, our meeting's on the 11th right now, and I'll be in Albuquerque at the New Mexico Cattle Growers, and I've got that New Mexico Arizona board meeting during that time too. So
December 11th, and
could we move it to the 9th? That would be a Tuesday, be in the same week. It'd just be moving it to the Tuesday.
I'm available. Are you the
Good.
9th of December?
On December 9th?
I'm good on the
It's
9th.
better there because I will be totally, well, out of place from there on.
Okay. How about the 9th for you?
I'm good.
Okay, the 9th of December? Dang, that was easier than I thought.
Right?
It's not usually that easy.
I know. So I wanted to do them both at the same time.
November 12th.
November 12th and December 9th.
Yeah, I'm going to surgery again and for my other foot, the
Oh.
19th, but I'll be in Dallas the weekend before, so
Mm.
after that, I'm done for.
Will be Hopalong Cassidy again?
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody have anything else? No? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.